Hey everyone, my name's Pearce. I'm an artist, music producer, and DJ. Something that is so important to me is having an industry standard clean mix down. I'm just not satisfied with my tracks if I can't get that right. Luckily, I've had the chance to work with Soundtheory's Smart EQ Gullfoss. Absolutely love this plugin, and today I want to show you how I use it and how it works. So Gullfoss is a plugin that's a smart EQ. It basically uses an auditory perception model to analyze a signal and understand what elements are hidden or overpowering based on how we humans perceive sound. There are a number of parameters within this plugin that you can adjust that either increase or reduce the frequencies that are competing in the sound you apply it to. It comes in 3 different versions: live, regular, and master. The regular version I essentially apply to any sound that needs it during my mixing stage. The master version is what it sounds like. It's used on your master chain. And the live version is actually a low latency version of the plugin that people can run while doing a live performance. So the main parameters within Gullfoss are recover, tame, bias, brighten, and boost. Recover is what you use to bring out frequencies that are either being masked, hidden, or lacking. Tame is essentially the opposite. It's to reduce frequencies that are overpowering or unpleasant in the mix. Bias basically gives more attention to recover or tame based on what direction you set the percentage to. Higher percentage is in favor of recover, while lower percentage is in favor of tame. Brighten is pretty straightforward. It brightens the mix, it boosts the high end. You can actually lower the brighten setting too. So the last parameter of the plugin boost is not something I personally use much at this stage, but to my understanding, it essentially boosts the low end. Okay, so now that we've covered it, I'm gonna take you through the plugin step by step and how I use it in my own work.
Right, so this is a session I have. I'm going to just go through it, show you the mix before we do some of the processing with Gullfoss. And then, we're going to go through a couple stages. I'm going to apply the regular Gullfoss plugin to my chords and leads. And then we're going to do some Gullfoss master on the master bus here. So yeah, this is what the track sounds like pre-processing. So, isolating these chords, you can tell they already sound pretty good, but there's some sort of unpleasant hissing higher frequencies. And in this case, it was a good example of when I used the Tame feature for Gullfoss. I'll do 100% so maybe we can get a more clear example. So what it's doing is essentially extremely quickly dipping these sort of harsher frequencies. You can see it's ducking some low mids, some of the more extremely high bright end. And it seems to be when this EQ is being applied, it's ever so slightly being raised here. So if I set the bias to 100, you'll notice after I set the bias to 100% that it doesn't accommodate for that dip there with the boost. It just really focuses on the dip. So just to show you what it would be like if I used the recover function, which isn't necessary for this specific sound in my opinion. With the brighten feature here, you can see it's just going to simply brighten the sound. Whereas the low boost just boosts the low end. Which obviously we don't want to do. And quite often with Gullfoss, what I'm doing is I'm boosting sounds that I want the low frequencies cut out of. So often what I'll do is, let's say I'm using the recover setting. It's gonna boost the low end of the sound just based off the auditory perception model that it thinks it needs more low end. But then afterwards, I'll cut out, the low frequencies that I don't want. So let's say for this example, it's 100 hertz. So I'm just getting the high end and, mids boost and higher mids boost benefit from the plugin. And it's still boosting the lows, but that's being cut afterwards. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll also do a bit of recover and a bit of tame and sort of play with it just based off, guess and check and listening while I'm doing it. Just gonna apply that quickly to the leads. These were the settings I was using. Now this, I found it was giving clarity to the sound, but not making it harsher. It's amazing how fast this EQ can react. So I'm gonna listen in context to the actual mix, of course. Make sure I'm happy with those changes. Yeah, it's actually insane. The clarity that this plugin brings to my sounds, I feel like it just brings them up that extra 15, 20% even. And it's really been a game changer for my mixes. You can even use it on just literally any sound. I've done it on drums before. Let's hear how it sounds on this. I actually like that. I feel like it just helps this percussion loop peak out just a bit more in the mix without sounding harsh. All right, now this is a really, really good example of using Gullfoss, and it is the master. Let's start at 0. And I'm just gonna bring it up slowly and basically decide how I like that. In an actual situation where I'm doing my final master for a track, I'm gonna probably A/B it to a reference and just by ear, maybe using a frequency analyzer, spectrum analyzer, I'm gonna kind of match it to my liking and just adjust this until I'm happy with the frequency balance between my reference and this track. So we'll go right to 100% and see what you guys think. When you pause it, it just kind of jumps like crazy for some reason. I'm not sure exactly why, but the thing about this plugin is it's not like you're just adding an EQ boost at 10K. It totally has a infinitely more in-depth kind of feel to it and brings out an overall clarity throughout the entire frequency spectrum. It's not just a high-end function. So in this case, I think earlier I really liked around 45%. I find boosting it too high, it almost makes the sound slightly too tinny in this example, thins it out a little bit too much. So there you go. The thing about Gullfoss is that it just brings the sounds and the overall master up that extra 10-15%. It opens that door, giving the song just a touch bit more clarity. This plugin's been an absolute game changer for me. I use it on literally all my songs now. Yeah, huge shout out to Soundtheory for sharing this with me, and I really suggest you guys all grab it. I just think it is incredible. Right, yeah, that's it for now. And, if you guys have any questions about the plugin, feel free to reach out to me. Highly recommend you check out Soundtheory and what they're doing. And yeah, peace out, guys.